Hello, I am absolutely thrilled to be here in Garrai Mara in Anrang in the Gaeltacht, my home place, with Mairead Costin, the amazing food entrepreneur. Is it okay to call you that?
I don't know, food, veg grower, that's it.
Veg grower. Well, look, what you've done here is absolutely amazing. Mairead, tell me your story.
Yeah, so I came back from the UK in 2017 and was on a career break from healthcare and was looking for something totally different to do, but had always kind of murdered herb plants in my own house wherever I lived along the way and had no kind of growing skills whatsoever, but decided in 17 for some reason I felt like I needed to get into nature, learn about growing, and from that I ended up doing a Drumcolliher level 5 in the organic college there in horticulture, and lived on a farm full time in 2018 for 8 months, learning all about market gardening.
Fabulous. And tell me, the site that we're on,
yeah, so
there's another story.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, so I came back from my time in Clare, and my dad Jimmy lives in the house beside the farm here. So this piece of land was idle for about 35 years. So I said to my dad when I came home, I said, look, that land there, is there any chance I can do something with it? So he said, work away. So my mum had grown spuds here years ago as well, which I didn't know. I was too young at the time to remember it, but my brother Jamie remembers the hard work of digging out spuds. So he was kind of going, what are you at? Like, that's hard work. But I said, look, I think there's a potential here. So I was very lucky to be able to use the land here for my dad. Yeah.
Well, the first thing I noticed when I came in here, aside from all the rows of vegetables and the beautiful wildflowers and the sunflowers, is your passion for this. You love it. It's you're glowing with it.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so talk to me about where people can buy your produce.
Yeah, so I decided to do a website online for click and collect to get as many direct customers as possible, and with that I had to grow a lot of variety to suit that type of market. So I did a lot of research online and did a survey locally, and people came back saying, we want carrots, we want onions, we want this and that. So I grew the things that people wanted along with other
Brilliant.
stuff. But the website I set up in May time, and people can go on there, garraimara.ie.
Yes.
And they can click and collect on Tuesdays in Ring or in the Greenway Eco Store in Dungarvan as well, all day Tuesday.
Super, and we'll put a link here on the video.
Perfect.
So that you can click. And you were so good to prepare this little gift box for me. Would you mind talking through what's in it, Mairead?
Yeah, so there's just a few bits that are growing here at the moment and for sale on the website. So I've got some courgettes, which are in the plant here behind us as well. They're growing lovely. There's kale, there's 3 types. So we've got green curly kale, Cavolo Nero, and red Russian kale. We've got some lovely beetroot bunches, garlic, parsley, and I've red onions just pulled out of the ground out in the field today, so they're new. And we've got some tomatoes, which are in here somewhere.
And I ate some of them earlier, and I have to say,
delish.
They were exquisite.
Lovely cucumbers as well. There's just a few, like I haven't a lot of cucumbers. I just thought I'd grow them for myself, but the amount that's coming off the plants, I'm actually able to put them in the boxes as well.
And I love beetroot.
People.
It's great to be able to get, because it tastes totally different to any of that stuff that you buy in a jar.
I think I grew up not knowing what real beetroot was. I just remember having a jar and hating it in the house, but actually fresh beetroot is so versatile. Like I make beetroot soup, beetroot hummus, beetroot relish. There's so many options. I even ate a beetroot ketchup last week. Someone had made for me, so it was really tasty.
And in terms of nutrients, there's no comparison, is there?
No, I mean that's the hope here, to achieve the nutrient dense food while you're growing it local, and the lack of food miles. Then going straight from the farm to the fork, so close in proximity. Like you're hoping that nutrient density is there. Fantastic. So that's what you're striving for as a farmer all the time, to make sure that I'm doing soil tests yearly just to check how the soil is managing and feeding it, and getting advice and going to conferences about learning about how to do it better, so
fantastic.
It's all part of the show. Yeah.
So it's fine for the likes of me who lives in Ring. I just have to pop up the road and get my vegetables. How does everybody else in County Waterford or in Dungarvan or Waterford City get your produce, Mairead?
So we have, as I said, I have the website. I've also been selling through the farm shops in Dungarvan, who are great to take on my bags of veg. So I have bags in the country store. I have the farm shop in Ballynacorty. They've welcomed me in with open arms. I have the Lynch's greenhouse. They have a few bags in their fridge as well. And then I've Cass & Co, Spar down in Ring. I wanted to be as close to the farm as possible. And that's the shop I went to first of all, so it's great.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And you can order, so you order online, is that how it works?
Online, yeah, exactly. And also down in Waterford, I'm in Arkeen stores with my spinach and kale and beetroot this week actually.
Super.
And near me on the quays as well, there's an eco refill shop that she's doing seasonal boxes a week from my farm as well, which is great.
Super.
Yeah.
And for those that maybe not Irish speakers, talk us through the name and what it means, Mairead.
Yeah, so Garrai is another word for Gordine, which is garden Oswelga.
Yeah.
It's also another word for farm. You know, I've always called it the garden while I was cultivating it, so I wanted to use that word, and I prefer the word Garrai. It's nice and snappy. And then Mara is sea, because we have a lovely sea view out the front of the tunnel here as well.
It's breathtaking.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're doing your brand, you have to think about a snappy word and a nice sounding.
I love it.
And it makes all, you know, the sea garden is kind of, it makes sense for here, you know.
Well, you come across as very entrepreneurial in terms of what you've done here. Now, you mentioned something else, social farming.
Yes.
Mairead, what's that? I've never heard it before.
Yeah, so I suppose in 17 my intention to go into gardening and to learn about the farm and nature was to nurture through it. So I've a good friend in Cork who put me down this road actually with advice, and she's a social farming facilitator in the HSE for people with mental health issues.
Okay.
So what social farming means is you're bringing groups of people from different walks of life. They could be learning disability groups, mental health, you could have teenagers, school groups, whatever, and they come to the farm for a few hours a week and they do the same jobs you're doing. So Social Farming Ireland are an organisation I'm doing training with, and their ethos is you're not coming in to do loads of counselling or whatever. They're just coming in, they work beside you, so everyone works together and it's kind of a social situation. You have a bit of food from the ground, they put the seed in, they might cut the food later on in the season, and then they get to eat it as well. So it's just a nice kind of way to help people nurture through nature.
But I have to say, I work in quite a flat to the mat job. Real estate is very, very busy and can be a little bit pressurizing, you know, from time to time. But I just feel the zen here. I mean, I would actually love to come here someday.
Yeah.
I love it. And could you see yourself ever doing little courses with kids or to educate them?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of potential down the road. You know, veg growing can only earn so much, so you have to think about expanding into other things in the business that will help. But I'm definitely, that's my part of my passion, is to have that space to hold for people to come and visit here. So whatever way that looks like in the future, we'll watch this space.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
And one last thing I want to say, I couldn't believe when I saw everything you've achieved. When did you set it up?
So set up this year. So first business was the 23rd of April into Costin with my Rocola rocket. So
unbelievable.
Year,
I'm actually blown away, and I can't wait to eat the veggies.
Great.
Mairead, this is not the last time you're going to see me here, and we're going to be ordering our veggies from here. And I wish you the very best. We'll have a link to the business here where people can order online. It's been an absolute pleasure. Gurb míle maith agat, and as I always say, slán go fóill.